Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to discuss about, the final concept of OOPS, which is abstraction. You know what exactly is an abstraction? Abstraction means showing only the essential details of something and hiding the unnecessary background. It helps reduce complexity by focusing only on what something does instead of like how it does. For example, think of a calculator. You see buttons like plus, minus, asterisk, slash, and it will return as a result, but you don't see like how exactly the calculator is performing internal process, right? Memory registers, circuits. Similarly, take an example of an ATM. You all know how to operate an ATM, but you don't know like how exactly you can, what's happening behind the logic or like what's happening behind the ATM. We don't understand it because everything is hidden. Only the front end part is visible for us. So that's where the abstraction plays a very important role. Okay, usually what we do from ABC, we just import capital ABC and the abstract method. So here, small ABC is an abstract base class, and capital ABC is a abstract base class. Like it's like a main or module. And abstract method, in the sense, it's a method that we write within a class without implementation. Any method that we are writing without implementation, we just call it like abstract method. So let me take a simple example. So I'll just call class. I'm trying to build a calculator and I'm trying to inherit all the properties of abstract base class. Okay, so here parent class is like a calculator wherein I'm telling I want you people to implement this particular calculate method in all the classes that you're gonna create. Okay, so I'm just going to pass it. I'm defining the method, but I'm not trying to implement it. So if you want to define any method without implementation in a oops, basically what we do, we just call it like an abstract method. Okay. So basically now what happens? It's like kind of blueprint or a plan I'm giving. Okay. This is the method that needs to be implemented in every child class. So what I'll do, I'll just create a different classes now. So I'll just say like a Calci one, or you can just call it like class addition. Okay, this addition is going to inherit all the properties of a calculator. Okay, and it is compulsory that you need to implement a calculate method here. So define calculate self, and now you can define according to your requirement, like whatever you want. You can just say like written, and actually you want to define parameters, right? You can define a double underscore and a double underscore. You can call self comma a comma b, right? And then it should be self dot a equals a, and also it should be self dot b equals b, right? So after you define a parameter, now you can just ask it to return. Since it's an addition, you can just call a plus b. Directly it will not work. It should be self dot a plus self dot b. Okay. Okay, this is related to a class addition. So same way, you can also try with respect to one more class. You can define one more child class. You can call it like multiplication, right? Again, you're inheriting properties of your base class. So even again, you're defining parameters. Here, I'm defining same method and I'm just using an asterisk. Okay, now you have a two child classes. So I'm just going to define two objects. So first object is related to addition, and I'm going to pass two values, which is 3, 4. And second object is going to be related to multiplication, right? Yeah, and I'm going to pass two values, which is 5 and 2. Done. So now what I'll do, I'll just call object one dot calculate. So which is going to give us addition 3 plus 4 is a 7. Similarly, if I call object two dot calculate, which is going to give us 10, 5 2 is a 10. So here you can clearly understand that according to this abstract method, what we are doing, so we are telling which method needs to be implemented in all the child classes. Let's say, for example, if you try to skip implementing, let's say instead of calculate, you'll make it a calculate one, it throws an error. Basically it throws an error. You know why? Because it is expecting, it was said by your manager initially, okay, these are the methods that needs to be implemented by every employee. So it's compulsory that you have to make it implemented. So same thing happens with an abstraction. Whatever you say, whatever is defined, using an abstract method that needs to be compulsorily implemented in all the child classes. Along with that, you can implement different methods, but this is like compulsion. Okay, that's where abstraction plays a very important role, which basically helps you in defining things without implementation, and later you can use that methods and you can implement according to your requirements in a child classes. So this is all related to an interesting thing about abstract class. I mean abstract method or abstraction. Hope it's clear. Thank you. Happy learning.